Hi, it's me, Zebulon Thomas, and I have another great interview I did with a good friend of mine, Sean Ace O'Connor. This guy's incredible. You know, he's always living his life like a rock star. You know, I see him on the Facebook and all the posts and on social media, and he's doing these incredible things, traveling, letting nothing hold him back. And I thought, you know, let me get together with him and do an interview and share some of his information, his insight, his view of the world, and what you can do to really step up and take control of your life and start living it to the fullest. And that's really what it's about. So this interview I did with Sean Ace O'Connor, he's a prosperity coach, motivational speaker, internet marketing guru, and the founder of Ace Traction Marketing. You know, really great guy, and he's got some incredible stuff. In fact, he's working on a new book too, in which we talk about. So here is the interview I did with Sean Ace O'Connor. Enjoy. Sean, thank you for taking this time out of your day to spend some time with me and connect and share what's going on in your life and how we can learn from you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing unbelievable. It's really a privilege and a pleasure really to be here with you today. Thanks for inviting me.
You know, we've been doing a lot of things in both our lives. Recently, a couple months ago, we actually did a webinar together, and that was really successful, and a lot of people really learned a lot from that. And so I had a privilege of connecting with you there too. And I want to get right into like what's going on in your life. So first and foremost, let's talk about, you know, what you're doing and what you do as an individual to help other people and really make a change in this world.
Well, you know, I mean, my life is filled each and every day with really helping other people. That's my passion. You know, being in the network marketing industry for 10 years, I've really fallen in love with just helping others better their lives, give them hope and help them achieve their goals. So, you know, each and every day I'm coaching people, helping them uncover blockages in their life, things that, you know, the blind spots, things that they didn't even know were there that are really holding them back and preventing them from living the life of their dreams. And, you know, and at the same time, I'm living my life fully, doing the things that I want to do. I'm mountain biking, I'm kiteboarding, I'm traveling. I'm doing what's going to make me happy each and every day without, you know, saying I'm going to do it someday or one day. I'm just really living each day fully. So that's what I've been up to. Just picked up a brand new car that I won. Real excited. Nice BMW. And,
nice.
And life's been great.
That's good. That's great. You know, and something you posted on Facebook the other day, one of your wall posts was really incredible, and I really liked how you worded it. And you said that there's always going to be something that we need to take care of or do, but we need to remember to live life fully, and that we should put that at the top of our list. Let's talk about that. How you're living.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you know, every day there's always things that we need to do. I mean, there's a laundry list of things that we should be doing, we've got to take care of. There's always those responsibilities. And, you know, what I've found is that, you know, that list is never going to go away. And that if we just take each day and really live in the present moment and say, you know what, if I want to go for a bike ride, then let's go for it. If I want to see a friend that I haven't seen for a while, then let's do it. And when you do those things and you do stuff for yourself, you're going to totally refresh your mind and your body. And those things are actually going to help you conquer and go out there and achieve the things that are on that list. They're going to help you, you know, cross off a lot of those things on that laundry list. And, you know, I think so many people get caught up in the everyday routine. And one day turns into a week, which turns into a month. And we all know the story. And years later, we look back and we say, man, you know, time flew by, but I never got to do the things that I want to do. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, 10 years ago, my grandfather passed away. And I think, you know, I really owe a lot to his passing for me to see what kind of life he lived. And unfortunately, he's one of those people that went through life always telling stories about the trips he was going to take to Hawaii and Alaska and, you know, the red Corvette he was going to buy for my grandmother. But he always ended the sentences with someday, one day, or when I retire, those famous words that so many of us love to use. And so, you know, when he retired, he literally came down with cancer, and a few months later he had passed away, and he never got to do the things he wanted to do. So I owe a lot to that experience and reflecting on his life to the way I live each and every day fully. And I just think it's so important.
Yeah, that really it drives you, doesn't it? You know, to really step up. I love the passion that you have for life, and let's talk about life. What do you feel the true purpose of life is?
Well, I mean, for me, it's all about, I mean, living each day fully, but also giving back at the same time. You know, being able to make an impact on the world. You know, we all have unique talents. We all have different things that we can offer to the world. So, you know, we all have a skill set, and I think, you know, everybody has certain passions, and a lot of us keep them locked up within us, and we never let those passions go. We never let them out into the world. And, you know, I think we all owe it to our existence to really live out our passions and to give back to the world by being unique and doing what we love. So, I mean, that's really what it's all about for me, is to try new things and you know, not be afraid to you know, step outside the boundaries and just live each and every day fully while giving back to the world and to other people.
And I noticed that you have been doing a lot of biking. I've seen on your photos and some of the things that you've been sharing with us that, you know, just get out there and you're just enjoying, you know, this. Was it a bike race that you were involved in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I took up mountain biking 9-10 months ago. You know, never would you imagine in South Florida there's mountain biking, and that's actually why it took me 28 years to figure that out. But there's some amazing mountain biking in South Florida, believe it or not. And I got involved and I got hooked because of what it was doing for me mentally and for my body. I mean, it was unbelievable. And a friend, you know, posted on my Facebook, "Hey, there's a race this weekend. Why don't you come check it out?" And he thought that he was just that I would never do it. But of course, I took him up on the challenge, and I did a bunch of races. I did a series, and the 5th race in that series, I actually got on the podium and beat out guys that have been racing their whole lives. And you know, I think that just goes to show you that whatever you really put your mind to, you can do, because I'm not the most talented athlete, never have been, but I was always an all-star on any of the sports teams because my heart was in it and I was determined and motivated, and I realized that, hey, if you know, if somebody else can do it, then I can do it too. And I think that's a good way to live your life is, you know, if somebody else is doing something, then the door is wide open for you to step in there and do the same thing and do it even better. I mean, you know, we all know about the 4-minute mile, and, you know, nobody thought that was possible. And then today there's thousands of people that have ran a 4-minute mile. Once that barrier is broken, you know we can do it, and tons of people will follow. Yeah,
we're constantly evolving. And then, see, that's what I think is so important is, you know, what you're doing and what I'm doing and all these other people that we're connected to, you know, in our circle, is that we're all expanding ourselves and opening ourselves up to infinite possibilities. We're not putting limitations on our lives. We're going out there and really enjoying it, and we're saying, you know, I want to challenge myself. And see, life is interesting and more enjoying when you do challenge yourself, when you do step up and you say, I want to do something new. You know, like last year I did a lot of biking, and the year before that I did a lot of running. And so this year I'm starting to do a little bit of both. And so I'm going to start running and I'm going to start biking and doing the things that I love. But the biggest thing here that I feel is we can't just expect every year to be the same. We have to be open to the fact that things change. We have to be willing to embrace that change so we can bring new things on. Because when everything changes, you know, the only reason why we don't enjoy life when these things happen is because we're used to the old. We don't want to leave the old behind. But open yourself up to new things, because that's when things get interesting. And that's exactly what you've been doing. And
absolutely. I mean, you know what? I mean, life is a blast. Life is a blast if you're open to the change and you go with the flow and you don't try to hold on to what was happening last year. And so you're so right. And you know, absolutely, you've got to be open to that change and just say yes to life. I mean, many of you have heard that before, but say yes. I mean, do things that you normally wouldn't do. When somebody invites you somewhere and you normally would say no, say yes. Just do it, and you'd be surprised at how many things open up in your life and in your world.
Wouldn't you say it's safe to say that we're just afraid of all the things that might happen that usually don't, or, you know, it's our comfort zone that we're getting out of by doing that? And I think that's where you grow, is when you step outside that bubble, that comfort zone.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so many of us, as soon as something comes across our path, a new opportunity, or just even a simple invitation to do something fun or exciting, we start creating stories in our head of what's going to happen. And, I think we really surprise all of ourselves if we just do it and not even think about what's going to happen, just go and do it and conquer. I mean, it opens up, so many things for you in your life.
Yes. Now, I noticed you posted some videos, I don't know, on Facebook and YouTube during your bike ride. I saw you took a plunge, but you got back up and you kept going. I thought that was great, but that's a good metaphor for life, just watching you and what you're doing is the fact that here you go and you got into something that you're not used to and you're going strong, and what happens, that happens. And then you also had some issue with something dangling from your bike that killed some of your time, but how'd you approach all that? You got through it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, that video that you're talking about, there were so many mishaps during that race. And you know what? You just got to keep going and moving forward, and you can't even let it aggravate you. It's funny because my friends were watching that video and they're like, man, I'd be cussing, I'd be like swearing, I'd be going off like crazy, and you're just sitting there, just trying to get your bike back together. And that race, I ended up breaking my chain and not even being able to finish. I had to walk the bike back out. But you know what? It didn't stop me. The next week I was back out there and I got on the podium. So you just got to keep pushing forward. There's always going to be some setbacks. There's always going to be challenges. But as long as you keep pushing forward, things are going to go your way, and you're going to get to where you want to go.
And that just goes to show that it's not the objects that we use to get from point A to point B. It's how we use our mind and how we use ourselves. Like what we do with it. And what you did with what had happened, you got through it, and you did some great things. And it seemed like you had great time during the whole time. It didn't seem like you were frustrated, you were frustrated, but I'm saying it didn't seem like you were letting that, ruin your day.
That's it. With every circumstance, we can react either positively or negatively. And what does it do for us to act negatively? Does that help us in any way? It doesn't. So, with every thing that comes across my path, every decision I have to make, I literally consciously think, how am I going to react to this? And what's the benefit of acting a certain way? And, just being conscious of your decisions, acting negatively wouldn't have done me any good.
Now, I know you talked about, one of the hard times in your life was losing your grandfather, but that was also an empowering moment for you because it's made you realize how to step up and what you want to do with your life. But what is another one of your down times, maybe the most challenging times of your life, and how did you get through it?
Well, actually just a few years ago when the real estate market had crashed, living in South Florida, I had invested in some real estate, and shortly after investing in the real estate, when the market was booming, we got hit with Hurricane Wilma. And Wilma literally destroyed a couple of the properties. And, when that happened, the properties were destroyed. I got assessed with all kinds of damages and money I had to pay. And the places, nobody could live in them. So I ended up losing my entire savings, which, I had quite a nice savings set up, and this property has just drained me absolutely financially, but it also was taking a toll on me mentally. And again, it was the first time in my life where I just felt, so low, because at that point in my life, I really was a little bit lost with, where my passion was, what I want to be doing. And, being drained financially month after month to when your bank account finally hits zero after having a lot in it, and then having those sleepless nights just wondering, what am I going to do? How am I going to be able to, sell these properties and get out from underneath this? And looking back on that, I just had to stay strong mentally, and I had to, again, catch myself when I'm up late at night and trying to go to bed. I had to calm my mind and just know that, focusing on the cracks in the windshield per se, if you have a crack in your windshield, if you focus on it, you're not going to be able to see out into the distance, and you might even crash your car. But if you look beyond the cracks, even if your windshield is completely cracked and you look in between the cracks out into the distance, you can still see where you're going. And so what I chose to do was focus out into the distance and see where I'm going, not to what's holding me back and what's keeping me down at this moment. And I'll tell you what, I mean, that was just one of the most challenging times in my life because I was lost. You know, I didn't know what I was doing business-wise. I didn't have really a passion. My shoulders were injured from sports, and it just felt like I was in this deep, dark tunnel. And at times there just wasn't a way out. But again, just referring back to, you know, looking out into the distance and not focusing on the cracks allowed me to crawl out of that hole. And, you know, and that was just a few years ago. And my life is better than it's ever been today.
That's great. And I think that's a great metaphor, the windshield thing, because, you know, a lot of people right now are still going through these turbulent times with the economy, you know, and, you know, I know several people that are, you know, just destroyed by this. And I also know people who have nothing and lost everything, and they're completely humble and they're ready to take on new challenges. And so the only thing that really splits the difference between these two people, you know, someone who has nothing and they're homeless and they're happy, and someone who has financial abundance and they're so depressed. It's just simply a state of mind and a state of gratitude in knowing what you have and what your life is about. You know, and you know, obviously you got through that because you know what your life was about, and you know what you really did have and where you were headed. See, I feel if we have you know, if we're on the track of our true purpose and our path, then these little mishaps and these turbulent times, they're going to shake us up, but they're not going to stop us because we know where we're headed. And that's the most important thing. I talk to people a lot of times about, you know, you can live humbly no matter what the current situation is, no matter what your story has been up until now. Rewrite the story. Don't live by the old one. Or if the situation you're having now is frustrating you, then great. Let it frustrate you, but don't let it hold you down. Instead, pick yourself up and allow that to push you into a new direction. Because when you settle, you've just given up. And, you know, a lot of people, they're not here to give up. They're here to keep going. Even when you do give up, you'll still find yourself in a new position and you'll arrive at a new destination. It's just how you're going to take yourself from that destination to a new one. And so there's really just a trial and error and a process of evolving and letting yourself grow. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I totally agree. And you know, another thing is too, when you give up and you just settle for life the way it is, that actually is going to take a lot more energy than actually moving forward and creating a new vision and of where you want to be. I mean, you know, settling takes a toll on you year after year because that's the way your life's going to be when you settle. But, you know, it takes a lot less effort to actually have some goals and have a vision of where you want to be and start acting upon it. And I mean, so I just want people to really understand that, you know, settling may seem like the easier thing right now, but, you know, is it going to be any easier 5 years from now or 10 years from now when if you just set some goals and start moving towards them today, you're going to find a lot more fulfillment in life and you're going to be a totally different place, you know, in the future.
Yeah, I agree. And I was having a discussion with some with a group that I was coaching the other day, and we were just talking about a lot of different things. And you know, it just kind of came to my mind that, you know, we have to look at the bigger picture. You know, that life in general, there's so much to life, there's so much to our existence, that these small little mishaps or these small arguments or this small, you know, what we're being depressed about or angry about, all these things aren't going to mean anything 5, 10, 15 years from now unless we still carry them into the present moment constantly. And so we have to learn to let these things go and say, this is so minor. You know, don't get so upset when your cable goes out and throw a fit and then get angry at the company or get angry at your box, your TV, or whatever it is. Think outside of that and say, you know what, okay, you know, maybe this time for me to do something different right now until this fixes itself or until I take a little bit of my time and say, let's make this happen. You know, so many times we focus so much on achieving one thing, but yet something minor like, you know, you needing brakes on your car, you get so frustrated over when you can easily take care of that versus some of the stuff you've been challenging yourself with constantly. So make your life simple and simply just allow yourself to be open to all possibilities. You know, don't limit yourself to anything. Just go for it.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the main highlights of your life, like what really makes your life so amazing to you?
Well, for me, I mean, you know, I've created my life, I've designed it, and what I love about my life is being able to wake up every day when I choose to, when my body's ready to. I mean, that's really one of the most priceless things for me. And being able to just wake up and do as I please, whether it is mountain biking or kiteboarding or just spending time with my friends or my family, people that I care about. I mean, my life, the most important thing to me is just the freedom in it. And, and for me, that's what life's about, is being free. I mean, we live in the United States where, we have freedom and we're so blessed, but, going to work doing something that I'm not happy doing is not freedom for me. And I think so many people are in that boat where they're just showing up day after day doing things that they don't enjoy. And, so, I mean, I want to help impact those kind of people and show them another way, and give them the freedom, give them the life that I've been able to create just, in the last few years.
That's great. And speaking of that, I do know that you read a lot of books because I see your post on the wall and some of your photos, and, you get some time to enjoy the beach and you take that time and you're reading books. So what current books are you reading right now?
Well, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I try to read a couple of books a month, minimum. And, one of the books I'm reading right now actually is called 4 Hour Body. You've probably heard of it. Mm-hmm. Timothy Ferriss, who wrote the 4 Hour Work Week. And it's just I love the way this man thinks. He's a genius. He's the way, he thinks the way I do. And what he does is he teaches people how to get the best results with the least amount of effort. And I think throughout my whole life, I've always tried to find that sweet spot where I could do the least amount and get the best results. And he teaches you that in the 4 Hour Work Week, which is a phenomenal read. And then also in the 4 Hour Body, teaches you different things that you can do to get the body that you want, that you desire in the least amount of time. And so that's one of the books I'm reading now. Another book that I just, read that I got to let people know about it's an amazing book called Appreciation Marketing. And it's by a friend of mine who wrote it, Tommy Wyatt. And it's just a phenomenal book. And it shows you how to, by using gratitude in your life, how you can actually thrive financially. And, so it's a phenomenal book. I recommend that one. And I love it. Just got it on audio as well. I love having an audio book replaying in my car. And in fact, I know that you just released your audiobook, and
yes.
I'm really excited about that. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm an audio guy myself. I really like audiobooks because, some people can learn more that way versus reading. I'm a slow reader, but, I did the audiobook first, and it's been quite some time that, just getting all the stuff together to make it just right for everybody with all these different formats they have, and then on top of that, my new book comes out too. It's a revised version of that program, and the title of my book is called 7 Days of Redefining Your Life. And the audio program, if you want me more in depth as your personal coach, you can put me on and play it anytime you want and have me right there. So it's a great way. And in fact, you are working on a book right now. Let's talk about your book.
Yeah. I'm actually just in the initial stages of it, but I'm excited because, I have an article coming out in Networking Times, our industry's magazine, this month. And it's called Ace Traction Marketing, and so instead of attraction marketing, this is teaching people how to attract the aces into their life. And, for me, I've really found that sweet spot in my life on how to attract the people, how to attract the things that I'm desiring, how to attract, the life that I want. And it's very simple, and it's just simply shifting some things in your mindset. So I'm in the process of working on the book. And there will be an article coming out in Networking Times this month. So really excited, and I'll definitely keep you posted on the progress of the book.
That's great. And you have a blog, too, that you post on frequently. What is the blog title address for that?
Yeah, it's actually SeanAceO'Connor.com, and that's just spelled SeanAceO'Connor.com, and definitely people can connect with me there, and I'd love to connect with anybody that's listening to this.
Yeah, we're gonna have your Facebook link, and you're on Twitter as well, right? What's your Twitter?
Oh yes, that's Sean Ace O'Connor as well.
Great, and we're gonna have those links around this audio post, and if you download it, go to the website at ZebulonThomas.com. and you can check out some of these links too. One thing that I want to ask you before you wrap this up, and I really enjoy hearing this from a lot of different people when I interview them, and that is, what is one thing that you would like to project out into the world today that you feel would make a difference in the world?
Well, I want to project that everyone, no matter what their current life circumstance or situation is, can be powerful beyond measure, and they can make a difference today by the actions that they take today. And I want people to realize that and understand that you know, it just starts with taking a simple, small action and repeating those actions day in and day out. And I know that, you know, anybody listening to this, you know, we're all powerful beings, but it's up to us to really, truly unleash that power. You know, I just went to the Tony Robbins seminar last week, and, you know, he's a phenomenal person, been doing it for 30 years. And you know,
yes.
So to hear somebody as powerful as Tony and to see 4,000 people there that, you know, started on day one, you know, as just like really being scared and kind of anxious as to what's going to happen, and seeing people literally transform right in front of me. You know, I just want people to know that no matter where you are, who you are, what you're doing, that you're powerful beyond measure, and that no matter what's happened up until this point, you can recreate the story of your life starting today. So that's really what I want to leave people with.
I want to thank you, Sean Ace O'Connor, for joining me today, this beautiful day, and sharing more about this incredible life and this journey that we call life.
Zebulon, you're the man. Thank you for having me. And, you know, I can't wait to hear all about your wedding in 79 days.
I know. Yes.
And, you know, I look forward to connecting with you again real soon. And thanks again.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm excited about the wedding. You know, the fiance came up to me the other day. It's like, you know, 79 more days. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, we got to really crunch it in. Because, you know, there's so much going on when you plan a wedding. And, you know, so I kind of just do what I need to do, and I tell me where I'm needed. That's kind of all I can do. But it's great and exciting, and I wish all of you guys the best too. Anyone who's listening to this to want to get a contact with Sean Ace O'Connor here, once again, the links will be here. You can visit his website, SeanAceO'Connor.com. Is that correct?
That's right.
And this audio is being played on ZebulonThomas.com. I look forward to talking to all of you guys and connecting with all of you soon. And Sean, hopefully we'll connect here this summer in Florida.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks again for always inspiring us and giving us the tools that we need to live life powerfully.
Thanks again, my friend.
This audio session has been brought to you by the Zebulon Thomas Companies, providing tools for an extraordinary life.